I grew up here in Manhattan. I've lived here all my life. I've lived all over the city, from the east side to the west side to downtown to all over. And I think both my parents were self-employed. My mom had a travel business of her own that was really interesting because we traveled quite a bit. My father was in advertising and very much sort of an artistic fellow. He was really emotional and very inspired by creativity, loved painters. But we traveled quite a bit. I was traveling to Italy and to Europe as a 13, 14-year-old, and even before that. But I think that the experience, going to restaurants and lots of hotels and really understanding sort of hospitality as a guest and as a young person was very influential to me. I think that New York, the sort of built environment, the frenetic nature of the city, and obviously the dynamic socially of New York influenced me greatly. Well, somewhat chronologically, I was at RISD, at architecture school, at Rhode Island School of Design, and I met Dale Chihuly. I've became a glassblower and have known Dale ever since. He probably taught me more about color and interaction of color and form than anyone that I've ever met in my life. Dale's color sense is just amazing, Michael. He has an innate ability to create dynamic, luscious, sort of sensuous coloration, and I was very enamored with that. After RISD, I had the pleasure of living in Brazil for 2 years, and I worked with Oscar Niemeyer. Wonderful, wonderful experience. Again, very much an architect driven by emotion. His forms, his attention to form and sculpture, and the artistry of Roberto Burle Marx, the landscape designer. They were best friends. So the integration of sort of art and architecture inspired me greatly with working with Oscar. And then IMP, of course, I wanted to complement that emotive sensibility with an architect who was extremely focused in detail. I was unbelievably influenced and taken by IM's attention to materiality and detail and how materials are brought together in a very elegant way. The first restaurant that I ever did, it was called Bar Louis. It opened in 1985 here on Lower Broadway, and it ran from Houston Street to Mercer. It was a 200-foot long space, 33 feet wide, and my client, Philip Scotti, at the time was just a wonderful, wonderful, full of life, unique fellow that we went on this journey, and he trusted me to build the longest bar in New York, a 180-foot long bar. And I built it out of glass, of course, and blew out all the glass fixtures for the walls, and I created this sort of real Miami Vice kind of at the moment, shades of blues and magentas and lovely sort of color, and the restaurant just became a unique sort of moment. People referred to it as a club, some people referred to it as some sort of nightclub kind of experience, but it was a really wonderful time for me, and of course my first restaurant. I'd like to think that what I am most impressed with and thrilled about with everyone who works at JBI is essentially their enthusiasm. Everyone here is not only enthusiastic, but dedicated and inspired by the arts. I bring my glass blowing into the office a lot. There's a lot of my work around. I try to bring folks over to Urban Glass, which is a facility in Brooklyn that I work out of. As best as I can, I try to create an environment in which everyone here can be themselves, can be individuals. For me, it's glass blowing. I know that others here are painters, there's sculptors, there's graphic designers, photographers, I encourage everyone to bring those desires and hobbies and loves of life to the office and share with everyone. We really try to create a very studio environment, a very collaborative environment of creative folks. I think we all enjoy working together and finding each of our strengths and how to dance. It's a dance troupe, it's an orchestra. And I think I just try to encourage everyone here to participate in the most they can, in a way they're most comfortable, in a way that inspires them and motivates them, that they're excited every day to come to the office and share this creative journey that we're all on. Certainly involves being on my boat, probably New England waters, with my wife Connie, my sons Justin and Oliver, and my dog Ziggy. We just enjoy ourselves immensely. We travel all over from Block Island to Newport, to lots of fishing and all sorts of social friends, and I enjoy that tremendously. But I would say in addition to that, I really enjoy my professional home. That's my personal home, and I enjoy cooking tremendously. My family, we're all avid cooks, and we enjoy spending that time together. But I would say also my professional home of my office is a very relaxing time for me to be inspired by those that I work with. Everybody that I'm blessed to work with here at JBI brings me a sense of tremendous pleasure. I really get inspired by them. I think it's very relaxing for me to go through design charrettes with everyone at the firm. People bring new ideas all the time to the table, and I really like that a lot. They'll bring in paintings in, they'll bring sculptures in, they'll bring photography they've done, lots of different forms of arts. That's a relaxing day for me. It's being filled with creative energy from those that are around me, from peers and associates and colleagues to my own family is very relaxing.